to do now is just get into Stephanie's story. I'm just really excited just to see just what has happened in her life. So just sit down, relax, and let Stephanie share her testimony.
Thanks, Majani. I'm so excited to be able to share a little bit about me. I think my story starts at a little different place than maybe some other people here at Cedarville. Well, I grew up in a first-generation Christian home. My mom and my dad are actually both from Taiwan. They were both born there. Dad came here when he was 11, and my mom came here when she was 2. And so just really grew up with that background. I realized, even though I did grow up with saved parents, that it was just a faith that I really had to take my own. And so growing up, going to school, and I went to church my entire life, but as I grew older, realized that there's just this gaping hole that I desired to be filled with affirmation, whether it was from my parents or my friends or teachers. Just constantly having that craving and that desiring to be filled. And it's one that can never be quenched. And so through the years of growing up and going to public school, I realized that God was truly lacking in my life. And I didn't really truly realize this until I was 18 and right before I came to Cedarville. And I'm excited to get to talk about this as the night goes on in detail.
Yes, so I'm really excited just for you guys getting to hear a little bit more about Stephanie's story. Like I mentioned earlier, she is just a really great friend of mine, and I just love seeing how the Lord has just been changing her heart to be more, or just a heart after His own. So I want you guys to continue to listen to music, and we'll get back to Stephanie's story. I'm closer to you, but I feel like I'm so far away. 'Cause I let my fear get in front of my face. Back and forth like a wave. Stephanie Majati. So just recently, Stephanie just shared her testimony, and she just kind of gave us a quick rundown on everything that just has happened in her life. So now we're going to get a little bit more in depth. So what we're going to start off with is just Stephanie's problems with affirmation and just what it led into. So Stephanie, can you kind of just share what affirmation looked like in your life and kind of what it led into, and just kind of go from there?
Yeah. So affirmation, I think, is something that humans, whether they're guys or girls, we all struggle with. We desire to be acknowledged and to be told that we're doing a good job. And at an early age, that's kind of where I was at. I loved being told that someone was proud of me or that I was, doing good work. And as Christians, we realize that the affirmation that we so strongly desire can only truly come from God, and that can only truly fulfill us completely. And so in my life, that's what I didn't know, even though I called myself a Christian, continued to look for that affirmation in things and in people.
Wow, I know I see that in my life as well, and I hope that if that is something that you are going through, that you are able to see that too, that sometimes we just really want others to just know, hey, she's doing a good job, or oh, hey, he just did that awesome thing. But our affirmation is only fully quenched, as she said, through God, and that only God can be able to say, you know what, you've done good. And that's whenever our souls are kind of okay, cool. It's that sigh that we get. So we're going to continue going. I'm so excited just to keep on chugging along, but I want you guys to enjoy the music, so we'll see you in a bit. It wasn't just a melody. I offer all I have. All I have. Excited that Stephanie's just been in here just sharing just her life and her heart and just kind of what's been going on. So she just shared her testimony and just how she really saw affirmation. So the thing that happens with our lives is that, little small things happen and they kind of grow. And if you were listening to the testimony, she mentioned that, that affirmation went from friends and stuff like that, and then it went to relationships. So that all started around high school. So, Steph, can you just share like your high school experience and just what went down?
So this part kind of makes my heart a little nervous. I don't love this part of my testimony. It's great that it led me closer to seeing just the depravity in Christ, but it was a really painful and dark time in my life. Affirmation, I like how you put that it kind of grows, that depravity in your heart, that it was definitely growing over time. And by the time that I reached high school, just friends and family wasn't doing enough for me. I started to really seek that affirmation in guys. And that's just a little normal, but at the same time, not again what truly fulfills our hearts. And mine in particular. And so I really started to jump into relationships with guys. I loved being a story, and I'm your host Majani, and I'm so excited just for all that Stephanie has been sharing. She just has been talking about just her testimony and how the Lord has fulfilled just that hole and yearning in her heart, and just kind of slowly building up to that. So we just started off like growing up, she just wanted affirmation from friends and family and teachers, and then how like all the way to high school kind of grew and grew to where she's trying to find that fulfillment in guys. And just, you know, there's always that climax, those dramatic things that happen that kind of make you go, okay, what's gonna fulfill this? What's gonna fix all this? I'm broken, like what? So I want Stephanie to share that moment, and you know, she doesn't have to share everything, but just kind of share those feelings and then just what has changed since that moment. Yeah, so through that stage of just really struck my identity is and who can affirm me so I will feel whole and complete. I reached a day, and I will always remember this day. It was probably one of the most painful days of my life, but it was one where God just broke me so much, to the point where I couldn't even save myself. My parents couldn't save myself, friends, my boyfriend at the time. And I realized that day that I needed to relinquish everything. I like to think of that verse that talks about us dying to ourselves, to give away every peace and desire in our heart, and give it to God and say, God, you know the desires of my heart, but I'm broken and I'm sinful, and I don't really know what I want, but I know that you do. And today, right now, even though I am going to fall short many times, I just trust that you have my heart in your hands. And that day was the day that my life turned around. I forsake the things that I wanted and trusted that God would place the things that he wanted and align that with him. That's so beautiful, dying to self. Such a hard concept to just grasp. One that I struggle with, and I know that you struggle with as well. When we die to self, we allow the Lord to just put his will in our life, and his will is so good. I don't know how many times I'll say over and over that the Lord is good, and that will never be enough, because whenever we do die to self and we allow the Lord to put his path in front of us and we follow it, that our lives are just so much joy, just have so much joy, and we just learn more and more of who we're supposed to be, because our Creator is finally able to do what he wants. So just kind of think on that as we listen to the next song. I hope you continue listening as we just continue into Steph's story. We have just gone on a fun journey, just one that is Stephanie's life, just how the Lord has fulfilled, and how just dying to self causes that fulfillment, and how we can never have other people fulfill just that hole that's in your heart, that just leaves you feeling empty. So I just want Steph to kind of share just a verse or something that just has really
kind of either encompasses or kind of just uplifts her and things like that. So, Steph, can you kind of just share that verse for us and what it means to you?
Yeah. So for those who are struggling with the things that I struggle with, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's something that I struggle with still today, of affirmation, especially in school and with people. One of the verses that I just continue to go back to is in Romans, Romans 8:35, and towards the end. It starts off by just saying, "Who shall separate us from the love of Christ?" And it goes on just to say that in all these things, we are more than conquerors. Because we are sure that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor rulers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God. That is just a group of verses that just really, I have to continue to write on my heart over and over again, realizing that there is truly nothing in this entire world that can separate us from that love of God. Nothing that I've done, nothing that I will do, nothing that people have put on me and tried to say that defines me. God has already written that definition for us by the blood of His Son. And this verse is just one of many in the Bible that really affirms that. And I use that word affirmation in just the most joyful way, because that affirmation is something that is completing. And with that gaping hole in your heart, it is completely filled by Him.
That's so beautiful. Nothing can keep us from the love of the Lord, and just the Lord came for us and He died for us to just fill that hole. So I hope that verse also uplifts you, and it's just something that you can put into your heart. I hope that you are actually putting the word in your heart, so that those moments when you're struggling, feeling like you're all alone, that you're able to go back and just remember that the words that the Lord has put into the mind of others to write, so that they can just speak into our lives. So continue listening to music. We'll be back in a short.
It's been a long time since you found peace in the valley you made, where you're not meant to be, where the shame froze, shadows on you. But don't you forget that you